Dave Chappelle is on many people's lists as one of the greatest comedians of all time. Dave has gone from almost universally loved to super polarizing. And to be honest, one of the most overrated stand-up comedians as well. Stick around and I'll tell you why. But first, a little background. When Dave left the public eye back in 2005 over creative differences and pressure that he felt from the industry, Dave stated that I wanted to make sure I'm dancing and not shuffling. Dave made his triumphant return back into the public spotlight with not one, but 2 Netflix specials in 2017. With 7 Netflix specials under his belt of varying quality, his latest special is why we're here today. The Dreamer was released on December 31st, 2023, and it prompted me to make this video. So let me tell you a story. I remember as a kid seeing Robin Hood Men in Tights for the first time. I've been a movie nerd ever since I can remember, and the movie being directed by Mel Brooks was just the icing on the cake. I mean, before I even knew who he was, I knew that movie was amazing. I've always had a love for parody films. I mean, Robin Hood Men in Tights is one of the first I remember, along with films like Naked Gun, CB4, and the critically lampooned Loaded Weapon. I remember Dave standing out to me in that film because he was literally the only person that looked like me in the film. I remember the way he talked, I remember his screen presence, I remember his dope shoes that he had on. Like, I love that film. Then came 1996 and the phenomenon that was The Nutty Professor. Now, when I tell you, me and my brother watched this movie every day on VHS, I am not bullshitting. I know that John went like triple platinum in our home. I mean, I know like triple platinum is like reserved for music, but I don't know the equivalent of watching a movie that many times. I don't know. We watched it a lot. And my favorite part, of course, is Dave Chappelle is Reggie. Dave plays an obnoxious comedian. That's not foreshadowing. Sherman Klump and Jada Pinkett go to the comedy club together. Jada Pinkett was like a graduate assistant and she's dating a professor. Like, that's kind of wild now that I think about it, but moving on. Dave doesn't have much screen time in the film, but for the time that he's on, it's magic, especially to 11-year-old me. I mean, as you can tell from the background that I gave, I'm a huge Dave Chappelle fan, and it saddens me to really have to make this video. It's funny that his name is Reggie in that film because most of his recent stand-ups have been me. Is the men still selling? So let's get back to it. Killing Them Softly and For What It's Worth are undeniably classics. So we can exclude them. We can skip them and go on to the Netflix specials. So like most professors in our world, comedy is a what have you done for me lately kind of deal. To be honest, he got off to a good start with the first 3 Netflix specials, The Age of Spin, Deep in the Heart of Texas, and Equanimity. Next up, we have The Bird Equation, and this might be my least favorite special. By this time, Dave was really in his, his storytelling bag, but I didn't sign up for that.
One of the many things they did was they would track the sexual habits of anyone they considered an enemy of the state.
I get it, you trying to connect with the audience, but bro, I came here for the jokes, not a motivational speaking session. Then came Sticks and Stones, which I enjoyed for the most part, but it started to become a little derivative at that point. He was already on the transgender train and had already doubled down in the Equanimity special. Next, we had a closer. And I think the most telling thing about this special is that I couldn't think of any jokes from it off the top of my head. So I had to rewatch it for research. So by this time, he was in a full-blown war with the LGBTQ community. So I found this to be very interesting. He started this special off with a Jewish joke, and he didn't get canceled. Like, damn, this nigga really might be uncancelable.
These niggas are here. These UFOs keep coming to Earth, and it made me think of an idea for a movie. It sounds dumb, but hear me out. In my movie idea, we find out that these aliens are originally from Earth. That they're from an ancient civilization that achieved interstellar travel and left the Earth thousands of years ago. Some other planet they go to and things go terrible for them in the other planet. So they come back to Earth and decide that they want to claim the Earth for their very own. It's a pretty good plot line, huh? I call it Space Jews. All right. It's gonna get worse than that. Hang in there.
I know Kanye and Kyrie was at home like, damn, this nigga spitting. Critics of this special accused Dave of being a bigot and punching down. And by this time, it's really starting to look like it.
I'm not saying that to say that trans women aren't women. I am just saying that those pussies that they got. You know what I mean?
While preparing for this video, I came across this video from comedian Corey Holcomb.
I can't be quiet no more. My nigga Dave Chappelle be bombing like a motherfucker. I'm just keeping it real, dog. I have watched, whenever they say, hey, everybody, guess what? Special guest, Dave Chappelle. I'll be like, damn. It's finna be hot garbage for at least an hour, maybe 2. I'm just keeping it real. I'm not trying to shit on the brother, but he needs to understand you throwing your weight around too much, man. Standing up there smoking with them irregular shirts on, bombing all the time. Dave Chappelle is absolutely great in movies. Give Dave Chappelle his flowers. But stand up, God damn. This man has so much power because of what he's done in movies and TV that he can go in any comedy club. They're going to put him up because he's Dave Chappelle. And I promise you, this man is about to do a say no to comedy speech for as long as he up there. Now, I've watched Dave Chappelle's specials. Out of every 5 specials, 2 of them are good. 2 of them are good.
A lot of people accuse Corey Holcomb of being a hater, but he kind of spitting though. So let me share a personal anecdote. I've seen Dave Chappelle twice in person. So the first time I seen him was December 5th, 2019. He came to Memphis. He came to the Orpheum. And the show was a little meaty. The second time I saw Dave was at the FedEx Forum. He came in 2023 with Chris Rock. And no bullshit, like 42% of the jokes were jokes that he told like 3 years earlier at his previous stop in Memphis. And not to mention, he let Ashley Larry and some random white dude outdo him. He may have had the 4th best set that night. Finally, we have the Dreamer. I saw this special like a month ago, and what really drives my point home is that I can't think of any jokes off the top of my head, so I had to rewatch again for research. After I rewatched, it's still MIDI. Dave was in his I'm gonna spread the outrage around bag. So he started making jokes about disabled people and saying he was done with the trans jokes. He'd later go on to make more trans jokes. I just want him to talk about something different at this point. I feel like his ego has gotten so big that he thinks he can make anything funny. Them trans jokes just not hitting for me. Like I said, I'm not a Dave hater. I'm one of his biggest fans. I understand he's super talented and he can be thoughtful and, you know, have thought-provoking ideas, but the specials are being overshadowed by outrage. And I'm not one of those people who gets sensitive about comedy. I mean, I feel like you can joke about almost anything as long as it's funny. And I know he said that he wants to talk to the audience because people are so sensitive now, so that's why he comes out and talks instead of telling jokes. And one of the main reasons that he tells the trans jokes is because he's hurt at the progress that the LGBTQ community has made. He's tried to parallel that movement to the civil rights movement, and just wondering how they come so far in such a little amount of time in his mind. But I feel like what Dave doesn't understand is that there are black LGBTQ people and how that intersects, you know, with their race, being gay or bi, trans or whatever. We all know the number one rule in sports and entertainment is that you have to be good enough to outweigh your problems. And lately, I just feel like the stand-ups have not been good enough to outweigh the controversy and the critiques that he's gotten. I want him to get back in his bag, be more creative. But then again, they keep paying him to make the same thing, so why would he switch it up? Dave is smart. He knows who his audience is. And what's crazy is that a lot of Dave's fans now are wearing MAGA hats. Hell of a career arc, nigga. And I'm gonna end it with what Dave has said so poignantly in the past. As always, thanks for watching. And remember, I did the research, so you don't have to.